Welcome back to part 12 of my South American team in the Premier League. Yes, I brought my team, Sarah, over from Brazil, dropped them into the Championship, and from there, we won the Championship. And we're now going to be in our second season in the Premier League, with the board's requirement for the first season was to avoid relegation. We finished 10th, so we did it with bells on. This season, we want some European football. We ain't going to win the league, but a Europa League place maybe. We're going to try very, very hard. Anyway, it's been a very busy summer. Lots of comings and lots of goings. Let's get stuck in. And some interesting news on revenues. I've got a new sponsorship deal, soft drinks partnership, 5-year deal worth 6 million. The annual revenue totals are very, very interesting. Broadcast revenues in the Championship, 2.67 million. Last season in the Premier League, 94 million. Competition prize money in the Championship, 120,000. Premier League, 21.25 million. And apart from the sponsorship very slightly down, but all of the other figures are all very slightly up as well. But you know, the broadcast revenue and competition prize money, it's definitely given me a little bit of money to spend. Okay, once again, I don't like repeating myself, but please, Football Manager 2025, the transfer system really needs sorting out. I've said it many times before. You go and buy a player, they want 2 or 3 times what the stated value is. You come to sell a player and you'll be lucky to get a quarter of what that stated value is. It's absolutely bonkers, and it's every single transfer. Okay, I'll just get my big head out of the way. So quite a lot of players have gone out, and some of these players have gone for absolute peanuts, bearing in mind, you know, they were an integral part of our time in Brazil and winning lots of trophies. So Kai Rocha went for a measly 275,000. Giannoli, the centre-back, has gone out on loan. Giovanni, who was a tremendous player for us in Brazil, he went to Bristol City, 2.9 million. Mateus Bahia, he was actually a starter for me at left wing back. He went on a free transfer. Pedro, we did actually get some decent money for him. I think we trebled our money on him, I'm not sure. I think we paid 12 million for him. We got 35 million. So I'm actually I'm killing myself here, aren't I? I've got an argument on the one hand and then I'm killing it with the other. But anyway, yeah, we did make some good money on Pedro. Mateus, the goalkeeper, he went out to America. I think it's a South American team, and anything up to 26.5 million. Yanderson on that right wing in Brazil was absolutely brilliant for us in spells, and he's gone out on loan. Couldn't find a buyer for him, even at a pittance. Bruninho went on loan as well. Matis Moro went out on loan. Quite a few loan players there. They're not the important ones, are they, really? What else have we got there? Oh, there's nothing else in there, is there, really? Diaz, who was, I thought he was going to be a wonder kid for us and actually didn't progress. But, the higher our star rating has got in the Premier League, the worse he's dropped off. I think he ended up with 2 stars of potential. So not great, and he's gone out on loan as well. Okay, so the important ones coming in. We do just need to go back to the previous season. So let's just scroll down here. So I did show you the new goalkeeper. Now, he's not the greatest goalkeeper in the world. When I signed him, he was 4-star. He dropped to 3.5 star as soon as he came in the door, and now he's dropped to a 3-star. So still a very good goalkeeper. He's probably on par with Mateus. I have had a look at, an analysis between the two, and he is a better goalkeeper than Mateus. Not by a huge amount, but he is slightly better. But I have been looking for a better goalkeeper than Perry, and I can't find a South American one. And once again, like I say, all of these signings have all been done off scout reports. I've not used any knowledge of mine. That will, you'll see something in a minute that you would think, oh, prior knowledge. No, I've not used any of that. They came up on scout reports. Joe Linton from Newcastle, 29-year-old, loads of experience, and he came up on a free transfer, and I thought, you know what, it'd be rude not to. And well, he's coming with a value of 73 million. So we can knock, well, I mean, probably about 21 million then, I would think, in real terms, because this transfer system really needs sorting out. I need to stop saying that. Have you gathered? I've got a bee in my bonnet about it. So the other position that I wanted to strengthen was centre-half. And I don't know whether it showed. Did Anderson Hayes show up in the outgoings? I'm not sure whether it did. But anyway, Anderson Hayes has been sold. So I did need some centre-backs. This lad's come in. He's only 19. He can be trained to play at centre-back. He's 6'1". And I think he'll do all right for us there. So we are training him to be a centre-back. Again, I couldn't find any decent centre-backs. Well, I could if I had like 213 million to spend. But for the money I had, not. So anyway, Gabriel Moscardo is coming from PSG, 23 million. Left-footed centre-back next from Juventus. I think it was about 12, 13 million. Facundo Gonzalez, and he's 22. I don't think he's the greatest centre-half. We're going to have to see. But he's 6'4". One of the things I did identify towards the end of last season, and you saw it on camera, was that we conceded quite a few headed goals. And okay, the goalkeeper should have done better, but so should the centre-halves. And I mean, there is a bit of a story in this. So Pereira, who was playing at centre-back, is actually a right wing-back. And I've actually moved him there for the forthcoming season. But I don't think he is the greatest in the air. And it was always his position that, got defeated when those headers went in the back of the net. So anyway, like I say, a couple of new centre-backs in. Have been struggling as well. To be honest, it's not been an easy transfer window. I went into the transfer window thinking, right, I had a clear idea of who I wanted. Oh, well, not who I wanted, but the positions that I wanted covered. And it was very, very, very difficult. So we have signed Savio. Yes, I know it's the same Savio that Manchester City have signed in real life. But honestly, it did come up on my scout reports. And he's a left-footed winger. So he can play on either side, but what I've done is I've moved Farias into a striking role, and I'm training him to do that. So this lad on the left-hand side, all right, depending where I decide to play him. I mean, it's a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it, really? 15.75 million. I've only just signed Fernando. I got my scouts working in a different way. And one of the scouts came up with this lad from Salzburg, Fernando, 3.5 star coming in now. He's 26 years old, so again, loads of experience. We are going to try and play. We're going to start the season with a two-striker system. So Marcus Leonardo and possibly Fernando, both very experienced up front. Hopefully, we'll get the goals. Because if you remember, last season, that was kind of a bit of our undoing, the fact that our leading goal scorer only got about 8 or 9 goals. 21 million next for Rodrigo Zalazar, if I can get my words out. 26-year-old, and I am trying to sign players with experience. I think... Sometimes I think in Football Manager you do get very, you have this thing about wonder kids, don't you? It's like, oh, I must try and get as many wonder kids on my team as possible. And it's a bit of a fairy story. In reality, it doesn't really work because they're wonder kids. With the wonder kid thing is potential, isn't it? It's that potential. You're probably not going to see the best of them for 2 or 3 years. That's if they progress. I have had wonder kids in the past who have not progressed. So 26 years old, can play right through the middle, so really, really useful. We could even stick him up front if we wanted to, but I think we've got plenty of strikers. And I think this kid has come in as a wonder kid, Franco Mastanciono. When I signed him, he was only 17. He's just turned 18 now, 18-year-old Argentinian. Very, very useful player. Very, very useful player. I'm a bit surprised his transfer value is only 7 million. So maybe he's got 5-star potential. Maybe there's a clue in there that the game actually doesn't think he's going to progress. Only time will tell. I'm like that at the moment, whether to send him out on loan or keep hold of him. And with all those new signings in, the media prediction is to finish 13th with 300 to 1. So I think I've done okay there, because at the end of the day, the media could have still been looking at me as, not much of a chance to win anything. So we're not predicted to get relegated. Obviously, I want to get into the Europa League if I can. Unsurprisingly, we don't have anybody in the media dream 11s. Finance is not looking too bad. 16 million in the bank, and that will increase through this season, as we saw. That income chart that I showed you, it will increase, and if we can get into European football, then it'll increase even more. We've still got 12.8 million in the transfer budget. I am still looking for a goalkeeper. I've got a scout out there looking in South America for a better goalkeeper. But all the reports that come back just have Perry as the best goalkeeper in South America. So I'm not really succeeding. Wage budget is, to be honest, what I might do is I might put all of that transfer budget into wage budget, get it up to about 2 million. And then when the budgets come in for the end of the coming season, hopefully they'll give me that wage budget and a bit more, and a healthy transfer budget as well. Board requirement for this season, finishing mid-table. So the board have actually got a bit of faith that we are going to do okay. I've had saves before where even though we've been doing okay, the board requirement has always been avoid relegation. But I think I must be signing decent players, because the game is looking at it now and saying, right, okay, you should be a fairly decent mid-table Premier Division team. But at the end of the day, that's not going to be enough for me. Like I say, I want to get into Europe. Been working quite hard on the staff as well. So all of the staff members now are all 4-star. And there's only me that's a 3-star. But, 3-star. It's all up here. I've told you before. Tactics and formations, it's all up here. I don't really need a high star rating. I know what I'm capable of. I'm not big-headed. I named the stadium after myself. It's the GG Stadium. Gobby Gaffer. Okay, the first few games of the season, I think potentially are winnable. Brentford, Wolves, we've got Bolton in the Carabao Cup second round. Villa might be a bit of a tough one, but then we play Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea. So we are going to need some points on the board before we hit them, because that's going to be a bit of a roadblock, I feel. Okay, exciting times here at Sierra. Lots of players coming in. The worry is, if I bring them all in one go, is that going to unsettle the team? But only time will tell, and the first game is a home game against Brentford. Can we get up and running and get 3 points on the board? And, I'll be as happy as Larry if we can. Okay, the team for today. Quite a few new faces in there, but also very injury hit. I have 4 strikers now. 2 of them are out today with quite bad injuries. Fernando, I think he's called, the new striker who's come in, 26-year-old. Yeah, he's out for a few weeks. So not ideal. I would have liked to have started with a fairly full-strength team, and I can't do that. Okay, so it's Lucas Perry in goal. Back for Vavilla, Moscardo, Patrick and Pera. And like I say, Pera, he was playing last season as a centre-back. He's 6'2", but his heading is not amazing. And worryingly, all of his stats are on the down low. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that. But he's 25. But he's going to play as a wing-back on that side. And hopefully we've got some heading ability and height in that centre of defence to stop that ball going in the back of the net. We've got Arthur as the deep line playmaker, Joe Linton box to box, Savio on the left, Soule on the right. Dewar, worryingly, was a wonder kid, 5-star potential. He's now a 3-star currently, and he may just about get a 4-star. So he's another one of those wonder kids that's just not really progressed how I would have liked. But anyway, we've got Marcus Leonardo up front and the young kid Demina, who is still, I think, a 5-star potential player, but we've yet to see it from him. Okay, first highlight of the game, and it's 3 minutes Sule. Oh my word! And I mean, talk about 3 minutes on the clock, and Sule chucks a corner into the penalty area, and Joe Linton there rises head and shoulders above everybody else. And that was a very, very nice corner. And my corner routine there working absolutely brilliantly. Okay, Brentford now, and we do need to keep it tight at the back. One of our downfalls last season, particularly early doors. If you remember that West Ham game, I think, was it first game of the season even? And we were 2-0 up in that game. And I thought, here we go. Sierra in the Premier League, we're going to do a brilliant job. And then, of course, I think it was the 93rd and 95th minute, West Ham got 2 goals, and we ended up with a 2-2 and dropped 2 points. Sule there picks the ball up there. Well, that was a very nice take from Sule. Slides it to Savio. Savio sticks it in the back of the net, left-footed. That looked like outside of the boot. If he's going to do that kind of thing, well, I will, for one, will be absolutely, I mean, delighted. He's Sule there, brilliant stuff. And what happens here, Sule gets the ball back again, and it looked like, yeah, Savio just took the ball. He either toe poked that or outside of his boot. Left-footed, brilliant. 2-0 up against Brentford. And 23 minutes on the clock, and Football Manager never gives up, does it? You have to keep a smiling face, because otherwise, oh my word. So Adamina is injured, and we have to replace him with Jewett. Not that we haven't got any other injuries, by the way. So I've got 4 strikers at the club now, and now 3 of them are injured. I actually only have 1 fit striker. So we're just waiting for the message now to say Marcus Leonardo's injured as well. And then, I mean, you know, in football, well, in football in general, you like to have 2 players for every position, don't you? Yeah, Football Manager doesn't work like that. You can have 4 players for every position and still lose them all. Football Manager, what a little rascal you are. Okay, we've avoided a little scare there. Lovely ball up to Sule, who's having a really good game down that side. The ball's in the back of the net, and it is Marcus Leonardo, who is not injured, by the way, and he taps that one in, and we're 3-0 up against Brentford. This is very, very nice indeed. And Sule on that side there is having a man of the match performance here. Look at this here, running off that defender. And Marcus Leonardo, the easiest tap in he'll ever have in his life. Okay, 10 minutes to half time. Brentford with a big hoof out. Come on, lads, there should be plenty of you in the middle of the park there to pick that ball up. But we don't. And Brentford are coming forward now. Emerson. And I think this is where we're going to get to see whether my new goalkeeper has got anything about him. Nice header out from Avia, though. And that's what we need to see a bit more of this season. You know, let's take control in the air at the back. Because if you're taking control in the air at the back, then those players are going to come up for set pieces and corners, aren't they? And they've got every chance that they're going to stick one in at the other end as well. Brentford now piling the pressure on at the end of the first half. Emerson. Perry's not had an awful lot to deal with. Nope, and as per usual, a direct free kick goes sailing over the bar. Lucas Perry. A ball out there onto this side. He hoofs it out. It's meant to be rolling it out, but you know what? It's working, so I'm not going to say anything. As per usual, if I've got any instructions, I just shout it from the touchline, and it generally works, and we generally score a goal. Sule again, he's through, and he's been taken down there for a penalty. No penalty. Referee. Savio rises in the back of the net. That's the second goal of the game for Savio. And, well, can we keep him fit? That's the problem. Because Football Manager, we know he's a little rascal. And as soon as it sees that something's working, it just sticks a spanner in the works. But Savio there, absolutely brilliant. So Savio has scored one with the outside of his left boot, one with his head. I mean, can he get the perfect hat trick? Who knows? Probably not, actually. Coming up to half-time. There we go. We're into half-time now. And yes, the assistant manager's saying we're pleased. Of course we're pleased. Let's have a little tiredness. And Joe Linton's looking a little bit tired in midfield. So I think we will bring... should we bring Zalazar on Gonzalez? Not Gonzalez. We'll bring Zalazar in there. But I think... let's have a look. He's not really... Let's make him a Mazzala. Can we make him a Mazzala? Yes, we can. He's not really a box-to-box. He's not really got the stamina for that. Okay, 4-0 up into the second half. Okay, not an awful lot happening in the second half. 63 minutes on the clock now. I've not gone to a second tactic, but I have tightened it up a little bit. Both my wingers looking very tired. Sule and Savio have done absolutely brilliantly in this first game in the Premier League for our second season now. So Vargas has come on. He's going to sit behind the front two, who've not had an awful lot to do today, so not tired. And Alexander, the young kid, is going to come into centre mid with Castillo just behind him. So the second half bobbing on quite nicely. To be fair, well, we only need highlights for the episode, don't we really? It's very nice when your team is knocking the ball about and scoring goals. It's lovely to watch. But for the 3 points, we don't really need any highlights, do we? More highlights. Castillo there is already injured. He's only been on the pitch about 5 seconds. And it's going to be another one of those seasons, is it, Football Manager? Another one of those seasons where we're really tested with injuries. It's not the biggest squad, so... because I've let a lot of players go. And a lot of players have gone out on loan. Oh, my word. And their keeper there made a bit of a hash of that. Alexander now picks the ball up. High hopes for this young kid. But as you commentators curse as per usual. You give somebody some praise and then they go and do something buffoonish. Buffoonish? Is that a word? It is now. Zalazar puts the ball into the near post. This time we don't get ahead on it. So Emerson is going to get a chance to, well, actually, they very, very slow out of defence there. So all they could do was play that ball back. 10 minutes to go. I have dropped into the defensive tactic now. It's a little bit less, it's less stressful on the players. So with Castillo being injured as well. But a full-time score there of Sierra 4, Brentford 0. Is this going to be a sign of things to come? Let's hope so. And we're going to give the lads an absolutely delighted. And but there should be a one above delighted. Chuffed to little mint balls. Okay, well, a very nice 3 points there to get our season underway. I'm actually editing this video as I go along. Sometimes I do that just to see how long the video is. And I do think a lot of my videos are too long. I think people just get fed up of me waffling on and whatever. So I think I am just going to make this a transfer special on one game so it doesn't become War and Peace. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed it. Trying to keep it a little bit shorter so you don't get fed up and all turn off and go home. But like I say, hope you've enjoyed today's episode. And I think it's going to be an exciting season. I hope it's going to be an exciting season. But we've got some very tough games coming up. I think it was Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea, I think, coming up very, very shortly. So I'll make a decision whether I come back for those or just play through them. I'm not quite sure. But for certain, we'll see you very shortly.